It's a wave the Mr. Quickie, oh yeah. 7 years ago, cosmologist Dr. Sean Carroll debated philosopher and theologian Dr. William Lane Craig on the topic of God and cosmology. Why a philosopher was debating a cosmologist on the topic of cosmology is not clear to me, but leave it to the Christians to bring a very dull knife to a gunfight. In that debate, Dr. Carroll takes on the fine-tuning argument for God's existence presented by Craig, which states that the various parameters of the universe have been finely tuned so as to make our lives here possible. Carroll calls the fine-tuning argument the best argument for theism, just before calling it a terrible argument. Dr. Carroll points to 5 problems with the fine-tuning argument, the second problem being God's omnipotence.
God doesn't need to fine-tune anything. We talk about the parameters of physics and cosmology, the mass of the electron, the strength of gravity, and we say if they weren't the numbers that they were, then life itself could not exist. That really underestimates God by a lot, which is surprising from theists, I think. In theism, life is not purely physical. It's not purely a collection of atoms doing things like it is in naturalism. I would think that no matter what the atoms were doing, God could still create life. God doesn't care what the mass of the electron is. He can do what he wants. The only framework in which you can honestly say that the physical parameters of the universe must take on certain values in order for life to exist is naturalism.
In other words, a magical being doesn't need the physical parameters of the universe to be just so. If God can create the entire universe out of nothing, the mass of the electron or proton is of no concern. A magical being doesn't need the constants of our universe to follow any particular recipe with any degree of precision. Of course, when you're religious, such reason, such insight, such cogent argumentation can't possibly be left to stand unmolested. So the good people at the not even slightly intelligent design site Uncommon Descent responded with this. But the fine-tuning hypothesis doesn't merely state that God exists. It states that the universe he made was fine-tuned for life, and especially intelligent life. Now, why would that be? After all, as Dr. Carroll points out in his video, God could have easily produced intelligent life in a universe that wasn't fine-tuned. If fine-tuning is not required in order to generate the desired product, intelligent life, and if it is no easier for the producer, God, to make the product in that way, then the only possible reason for fine-tuning must have to do with God wanting to be known by us. In other words, God fine-tuned the universe because he wants us to discover his existence through the fine-tuning of the cosmos. So there you have it. God waited around 13.7 billion years for us to get to the point where we could finally look around at his creation, rise to our feet, and give him a standing ovation. God wanted to be known for his stunning work, I assume, but apparently only wanted that knowledge to be accessible and evident to a very small number of people who have ever existed here on planet Earth. It's like God's blueprint for the universe was written in invisible ink, and scientists have finally applied the solution, making that blueprint visible. Seriously. According to Dr. William Lane Craig, humans, the kind of humans who magically possess a soul, have been around now for up to 1 million years, since Homo heidelbergensis. This kind of knowledge regarding the constants of the universe has been around but for the tiniest fraction of that time. Apparently, God only wants to be known by people who understand and use electricity. As silly as this is in terms of making oneself known, it's a far cry better than having one's holy word written down by a bunch of Bronze and Iron Age ignoramuses who didn't know where the sun went at night. But wasn't that how we were supposed to know God? Through his revelation? I certainly know all I want to know about God from his instructions on how to kill a dove and where exactly I should sprinkle the blood. Though that's hardly something for which God deserves a standing O. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.